York's classic rock, Q104.3.
Seems like it's been a long time since there's been a James Bond movie.
And I'm saying it's only been a couple of years.
But it seems like a long
and then
time.
you said, but Daniel Craig is great as James Bond. And I said, well, he's coming back.
Yeah. And then
even though he played the game.
Yeah, he played the game saying
I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, Roger Moore said that, and everyone said okay.
Roger
Pierce,
Moore.
I liked Roger Moore.
I liked Roger
How do you
Moore.
not like?
Roger Moore's been on our show. Yeah, he was.
We lost him this year, didn't we? Was it this year?
Last year.
Was it last
Last
year?
year, I think. But
Right.
he was great.
Yeah, he was great.
To be honest, as Bob Saget is with us, I liked them all.
Except George Lazenby.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, George.
Okay, my favorite.
That was on
he's my total favorite.
That was on Her Majesty's Secret Service, that
Right.
movie. And Telly Savalas was in that movie, too. And his agent screwed that up, I read.
What do you mean? How did the agent screw it up?
He did the one James Bond movie, and then they held out.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you can't
I saw
name
him in a
movies
porn
Octopussy
thing
anymore.
later.
You saw George in a porn movie?
It was one of those.
He had to resort to porn after he was James Bond.
It was actually called I can say this. You don't have to believe me. It was called Her Majesty's Secret Cervix. That's what I came here to do. That's Shelli and Jim. Good to see you. That's why I'm here, to add things like that.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Jim.
No, it was like a Showtime series where it was one of those soft porn things.
Oh, soft porn.
On show,
that makes it
I was
okay.
like, yeah, that's fine.
on Showtime. And the thing was, he would be sitting on an airplane talking to a woman. And the conversation would then go into the soft porn scenes that he was not in.
That's still soft porn, I mean, there was no good acting in the story of O at the time when I was a 18-year-old young comedian.
You saw the story of O?
In a hotel. It was Spectravision. That's when you could, before there was any cable, before HBO. Spectravision for the discerning businessman.
Well, how are you, Bob?
I'm really good. I'm in this crazy promo thing. You guys are always the most supportive people ever. I just want to be in here and hang with you guys.
But wait a minute. Before we promo the product,
I don't even want to touch the
there
product.
is such big news in Bob Saget's life.
That's true. It's true.
Congratulations. He just got engaged.
I did. I know who it is.
Just.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Tell us.
I know her. Kelly is her name, and she's wonderful. She's smart, and we can communicate. Kind of like you guys.
Yeah, but how nervous were you?
Yeah, but we don't have
wasn't.
sex.
You weren't?
No, because I planned it. We went up in Northern California. We were in the woods, not in the woods, but in a beautiful room in the woods. We were just rambling through the woods, just with knapsacks, and we were watching Stranger Things on an iPad, and I just said, you know what, I'll be right back. And I went to the restroom and opened the safe and took a ring out that I'd been holding on me for 4 days. And she didn't know what was going on. She just didn't know. Because I had medicated her. No, that's not no.
No, I mean, what's the reality of this?
The reality of this is she was taken aback, and she was really happy and didn't expect it. And then I had to talk to her whole family. And my daughters, I had already gotten approval, so because they love her.
Smart.
And she loves them. And we had to call them. And it was just lovely. And her dad, the advice, they're a Sicilian-Italian family from Chicago. Sicilian-Italian. You could tell I'm a little tired,
Yeah.
Sicilian-Italian
Yeah, as
American.
opposed to the Sicilian Polish people.
Let me give more info. Palermo. But her dad said, he just starts a speech. You two are one now. You're one. And I'm thinking of just, are we in a cow costume? What are we doing?
But the Sicilian Filipinos, now they've got some really good food.
They've got the market.
Yes.
The best food. You get the best food next door.
But
What's
wait a
going on
minute.
around here?
Why during Stranger Things?
I don't know.
It just happened to be on.
Well, we were watching it on the iPad. We're hooked on it. We love it. And, Fuller House is on, but I don't think that's what you proposed to. Let's propose to me being Danny Tanner, and then I can clean the room afterwards.
Well, Fuller House is, 3 seasons now?
Yeah, and they start the second 9 new episodes in December, so I'm in a couple of those. But they went right into plugging. I love when that happens. But we it was very romantic, and we had, and then we drove back. My daughter lives on
Were
the
there
West
any
Coast.
tears or anything?
Yeah, I was crying because of the price, and, and no, we was really we've been living
Where'd
together.
you get the ring?
Some guy. I know a guy.
You know a guy?
I know a guy who knows a guy that knows a thing.
guy.
So you went to that's how they do it here in New York. They go to 47th
That's
Street.
right.
Everybody knows a guy.
Right, Crazy Eddie is who got me my ring. No, but it's.
And when's the wedding?
We don't know that. It's not gonna be a long one. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that gets a ring. Goes, this will buy me 8 years. Don't worry about it, baby.
I know people like that.
I do too. I know
Yeah.
my
That are engaged
cousin.
forever.
It's like, I shut her off.
12 years. My cousin's been engaged. 12 years. I'm like, tell him to please pull the trigger. But this will be something very nice, and a friend of mine will probably preside. I just got to figure it out because a lot of friends want to go to it. So.
Well, Jim could do the wedding because he did my wedding almost a year ago.
You got ordained?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did it one time. My friend's son, and I married them. I said a couple things that raised some eyebrows. I didn't mean to. What am I going to do?
Well, you're Bob Saget.
It got to be me.
You're
But
Bob
were you
Saget.
X-rated at the wedding? Because that's you.
No,
not
I'm
always.
A soft R.
Oh, you were Full House.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
I'm a soft R. Even my new special, which I don't want to talk about at all, is I'm a soft R. It is I'm a 17-year-old thing you can tolerate.
You don't want to talk about 0 to 60?
I so want to talk about 0 to 60.
But
That's
we
your new
wouldn't
special.
This
let
is
him.
made for you. This one's made for. It's made for both of you. It's more entertainment value. It's with what's going on in the world. I just wanted to make people laugh and tell some stories about Don Rickles and Rodney Dangerfield and my mom, who I lost a couple years ago, and it has serious stuff in it too. But it's about being 0 years old to going to 60 years old.
Okay,
And
now you just mentioned Don Rickles and
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield, both of whom I actually had the pleasure of meeting.
that is a pleasure. 'cause-
Briefly.
Right.
But, I did meet them both. Both absolute giants.
comedic, and the funniest people, in totally different ways.
Right, but they came from a generation, I've been reading about this, they came from a generation where comics bought jokes.
Yes, Don did not. Don made them up.
Okay,
but they weren't. But Don was an ad lib king,
Right,
And
but-
Rodney bought jokes.
No,
Very
I'm just
clearly.
saying it was common. It was
Yeah,
common. It was a common
absolutely.
thing. There were comedy joke writers.
Yeah.
and they would sell jokes to the famous comedians.
There still are actually.
Does it still? That was my question. Does that like little sort of cottage industry still exist?
Certain people will have 3 writers that'll hang with them. They'll tour with them. I have a friend I tour with. If he comes up with something for me, or I come up with something for him, it's an exchange. We're buddies. But otherwise, yeah, a person will say, "I'll give you $500." Joan Rivers used to buy a joke, and then not be shy about it. I will give you money.
Well,
and-
it's a job to write comedy.
Exactly, and people would fax. They would fax or use their curly cord phone, their portable, to get people to like their stuff. And sometimes you'd hear your own joke on the air, and you realize that someone sold your joke to someone. But Rodney was a friend, and I actually officiated his funeral, and I said this in the special. I had a pretty good set, which is true because it was all comedians. So you're at a funeral for a legend, and yet people are still up there wanting to say something funny.
Right.
But it's hard when it's someone that's a legend. I mean, it was a special guy. Don Rickles became a father to me the past few years. I had him in a movie called Dirty Work that I directed, Norm Macdonald, Artie Lang movie, and Don was the funniest.
Oh, I sat
funniest.
with Don Rickles. I sat at a table with him one night, and I couldn't even speak. I just kept my mouth shut and just listened.
Did he give you trouble? Did he go,
A little bit, but
who are
it's
you?
fun.
Did he go, who are you?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do you do?
Yeah. Yes.
And he go, Ray, that's a great business. It's like no matter what. But it always came out of love with him.
And Rodney Dangerfield, he was, in New York, the tradition for proms, for school proms, senior proms and stuff, of
course,
is after the prom you go to Rodney Dangerfield's.
You go to the club, right?
To the club. But that's been the tradition for like 30 years or something. Still.
I didn't know that.
Still?
The big,
Really?
the limos full of kids pull up after all the proms over on the east
Well,
side.
that's
at
the
Rodney
rite of passage.
Dangerfield's.
You get to drink and watch comedians.
Yes. This was taped Well, not taped. It was recorded.
It was recorded on.
Nobody tapes anything anymore.
No, it was virally on iPhones only. Yeah, no real cameras.
No. I mean,
9 actual cameras.
But the actual performance was this past May at the Music Hall of Williamsburg,
which I love. It was
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn audience, hipsters. It looked like a LensCrafters.
Yeah,
convention.
did you grow a bushy beard for it?
No.
So you'd fit in the neighborhood.
I did not get
did
a
you
man
have any
bun.
artisanal pickles for dinner?
No, I just did my stuff. Talked about the world a little bit, hardly at all. More about just making people laugh, telling them a story, sang 4 new songs. Just to give you an idea of what the mantra of the special was, it ends with a song called "We've Got to Be Kind to Each Other," and it was kind of my R-rated version of "We Are the World." So, but I'm very proud of it.
We must be kind.
You wrote it. I have to give you royalties now. That's about all.
That's loving.
That's so beautiful. No, it didn't have a Sesame Street vibe to it, but it was lovely. But the whole point is what you guys are doing here. You're making people feel good. You're telling them, unfortunately, news sometimes, traffic sometimes. But I just can't get into what's happening. And I watch my comedians for the news, and I want to listen to people in the morning that make me feel good.
Well, we try to create this,
and that's what it's
safe
about.
zone for. I hate the word
conflict-free zone because everybody is hating.
I can't do it. I can't even. I'll do shows somewhere, and I'll do like a 90-minute show, and somebody will yell something out, and I'll go, okay, let's stop that. I'll give your money back. You can believe it, whatever you want to believe, but we're gonna have fun here tonight.
But you know what I like is that you get on the stage and you talk about things that everybody can relate to.
Yes, so some of it, unfortunately,
the first time you ever learned about sex.
Yes, I do talk about learning the facts of life.
That was pretty weird, wasn't it?
Well, my cousin, I was 9, and she was in the front yard, and
you were 9. I was older.
But she was 44. No, she was 10. She was 10, and my mom got called out by my sister to tell me the facts of life, and I actually heard about them. I won't tell you the story here because it's not appropriate. But then,
right, but I mean, but the point I'm trying to make is you tell a story and it's about you and your life,
right?
But it's relatable to everyone.
And I ask everyone.
Because everybody's gone through their own.
How old were you when you found out?
When I found out?
Yeah.
How it actually works?
Yeah, not doing it.
I was, I was, let me think, 11.
Okay, so you were ahead of my curve. And Shelli, is it?
I don't remember.
Well, that's going to go in your permanent record.
I honestly don't remember.
Right. 11. When they explained it to me, to tell you the truth, I was mortified.
I acted like I knew. I just giggled like a fool. And then I talked about it once on the Tonight Show, and I really upset my mom because I told Johnny the story, and it had a suitable punchline. And she was like, "Why did you say that?" I don't know why she talked like Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, but I don't think millennials know who they are, but they were wonderful.
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie was a very famous television show in the 1950s that was out of Chicago.
Yep.
And it was on NBC.
And who was the person that was the puppet master of all that? Who's the voice? It wasn't Paul Winchell. We weren't in that area.
No, Paul Winchell.
It was a local Chicago.
Paul Winchell was Nestles, Nestle's.
And he also invented part of the artificial heart, did he not? He did. We can Google it when this is all over.
Yeah. Well, and there's the movie star that figured out some sort of bizarre missile technology. I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff that's out there.
With themselves, or just with science?
With science.
But just to get into my quick and easy and overplug, so I can talk to you guys. The show is because I could talk to you guys and not plug myself, but
no, we have to plug you.
We need to do the plugging.
I love you guys.
It's all about the plugging.
Honestly, when I walked in, Shelli, you said, I got the coffee. I remembered the coffee. I needed the coffee. Sure, there's food down the hall. I don't want to go near it. This coffee has changed my life.
Isn't it the business?
It is the most.
The DeLonghi machine, the most expensive coffee machine possibly. You have one?
I have one, but it's not this.
Did you buy one
because
I gave you the DeLonghi coffee here?
I know, I had it already.
You did?
And I had to have it fixed because the computer said no coffee. And it said it in Italian. I didn't understand it, but it is wonderful. So the thing that I always drink it from that machine right before I do my special 0 to 60. Which is
on Amazon and iTunes and many other platforms.
It is on every digital platform pretty much in the world. On the 14th, it went everywhere, which has not happened before. It's a brand new model. It's the same people that shot my last special. That's what I'm talking about. out. And I had a great experience with them. And this is, and I did it in Brooklyn, and I love it. And people really seem to be responding.
Well, this is. I'm going to quote from his promotional material because this is.
I hope I didn't write it.
No, this is a great line. 0 to 60 is suitable for the whole family, providing your kids talk a little dirty once in a while.
Which they do. I mean, if you watch South Park or Family Guy.
Bob Saget is with us, and he has to go off to his next place pretty soon, so we got to do all the shameless plugging we possibly can.
But I don't want to leave you. I feel like I'm with family when I'm with you.
Well, you're welcome anytime. You know
and I
that.
love stores that aren't open on Thanksgiving because that's our favorite holiday.
Yeah, I know, and that's P.C. Richard and Son has done that for years.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's not a good day to buy a bed, but you need stuffing and you need maybe cranberries at the last minute. That's what that needs to be.
Do you like the cranberry thing that you slice or the actual berries in the sauce?
I like
homemade like I do.
Real homemade like you do, and in the whatever espresso coffee machine we have.
Okay. Well, 0 to 60 is the special on Amazon, iTunes, and everywhere. And you also have the Netflix series Fuller House.
Yes, sir.
And
I'm out touring. I'm still doing stand-up because I have to come up with new material quickly because I put it into this special. Once you do that in Brooklyn, you got to reinvent.
Okay.
And I got a movie I directed called Benjamin that I'll come back and beg you to have me on.
Okay, that our friend Kevin
plug.
Pollak is in.
And what's it about?
It is about it's a serious dark comedy. So it's about a young man, Max Burkholder from Parenthood, plays my son. I directed it as well, and we think he's on crystal meth. So my girlfriend, a serious obvious issue, and my girlfriend Mary Lynn Rice Cub.
Wait! You don't have a girlfriend. You have a fiance.
No,
in the movie.
Oh, in the movie.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. My brain went nuts.
My fiance didn't mind that I had a girlfriend in the movie.
Right. You can do that if you're an actor. You can have a fiance and a girlfriend, and they can be different people.
Yeah, but you don't want your fiance watching you kiss the girlfriend. But we didn't really. I won't give any spoiler alerts. But anyway, she posts in the movie. Mary Lynn posts, and I'm 24. Put the ad credits as I talk fast.
I remember
she posts on Facebook an intervention. So all these people show up, and Rob Corddry, who's hilarious and wonderful, is the gynecologist in our family history who leads the intervention. And Kevin Pollak's in it, Sherry O'Terry and Dave Foley and Perry Gilpin and Clara Mamet, and I'm really proud of it. It's just it was really hard, and we had a short shoot, just a 15-day shoot, and we're finishing it up, so it'll come out next year.
But it's a comedy.
It is it's a dark comedy. So it's one of those. It's an independent film done for a lot of favors and a lot of friends. I had the same director of photography I had for Dirty Work, and just really wonderful people working on it. So it's. They're hard to make, those movies, unless you're, George Lazenby, and you've got those scenes. You don't have to be in those scenes.
We're back to the soft porn.
I love going full circle. There's no soft porn in this movie.
Okay. Bob, thank you for dropping by.
I'm honored, and I love seeing you guys. I truly do.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.